The compass is an essential tool in orienteering. It helps you get your bearing and to find your direction. It is wise to have a compass with you every time you go out for a hike or an outdoor camp. This is a silver compass. It's something that we use within our troop. First thing you'll notice is this transparent rectangle here. This is called the base plate. This is what makes up the most of the compass. Whenever you are reading the compass, the base plate has to be flat and parallel to the ground. Next, this circular thing here is called the housing. As you can see, the housing turns and there are bearings around the circumference of the housing. These bearings range from 0, which is north, to come on round to 360 degrees. Also on the housing, they marked out the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east and west, with everything else in between. Over here at the top of the compass is the index pointer. This index pointer indicates the bearing on the housing. This could be the bearing in which you are walking to, or the bearing of an object you are pointing to. Within the housing itself, as you can see, there is a red and black arrow. That is the housing arrow. The housing arrow turns with the housing. The housing contains a liquid in which floats a magnetic arrow. As you can see here, the red and white arrow. The red arrow points to the magnetic north of the earth, while the white arrow points south. As you can see here, with the magnetic arrow floating freely in the liquid within the housing, it points towards magnetic north, which is in that direction. No matter how you turn the compass, the magnetic arrow always points to the magnetic north. Your compass also has an arrow called the direction of travel arrow. In this compass, it is a glow-in-the-dark arrow like this. In other compasses, it may be at the top of the housing, just a simple arrow as marked out on this compass. The direction of travel arrow points towards the direction in which you are walking or going towards. This helps you ensure that you are walking in the direction in which you want to go. Some compasses will also have a magnifying glass. This is to help you read small symbols on the topographical map. Compasses will also have scales as such for you to measure distances and to convert them. Generally, there are usually 2 scales, one a centimeter scale and a scale in inches. This compass has a cover. This is to protect the compass. However, other compasses such as this do not have, so they are very fragile. The last part of a compass that you will need is the string. Every compass will have a string attached to it. This string serves either one, for you to attach the compass to yourself, and 2, to measure distances. The string is used to measure curved distances on the map and to convert them later using the scale into real distances. Because the compass is an invaluable tool in orienteering, it is important that you take good care of it. Before using any compass, there are certain things to take note of to ensure that your compass is indeed ready for use. First things first, always check that your magnetic arrow is pointing in the correct direction. You can do this either by comparing it to a known direction, or taking two compasses and comparing the direction in which the magnetic arrow points. Either that, or you can compare it to a map that is set, because with a map that is set, you will know where north is exactly. Next, check to see if there are any cracks in the housing window, or if there are any bubbles within the housing. This will indicate that the fluid inside has leaked out. Because your magnetic arrow needs to float freely within the fluid, any air bubbles or any cracks will mean that it is unable to float freely, and thus its accuracy will be compromised. Next, you want to check whether your housing turns smoothly. This means that it doesn't catch on and does not stick to the base plate. Some compasses, when they are old or when the fluid has leaked out and dried, the housing cannot be turned freely. Basic care for compass includes how to properly store your compass. Because compasses work mainly on the principle of magnetism, you don't want to place two magnets together because this will change the magnetic domains of each magnet, and which will affect their magnetism. What I mean by placing two magnets together would mean storing two compasses side by side or on top of each other. If you want to store magnets together and then place them far apart, or place layers of material in between each. This layer of material should ideally be at least 3 centimeters. Next, you don't want to store your compass next to any magnetic object. This includes metal, like your table or your metal cabinet. Magnetic objects will also include electronic devices. As such, you can see a magnetic arrow shifts when placed near to a phone. Electrical appliances like your laptops, your power points, you don't want to place your compass near them as well. You don't want to place your compass next to wires, because anything that conducts electricity or current generates a magnetic field, which will affect your magnetic arrow as well. Also, you don't want to drop your compasses on the floor. This is because the impact will also affect the magnetism of your magnetic arrow. This impact can come in the form of dropping on the floor or hitting your compass with a hammer, or causing any trauma to your compass. Trauma to your compass will also create cracks in your housing, causing the liquid to flow out. And as mentioned before, you don't want it to happen because your magnetic arrow will not be able to float freely then.